Hi, I'm Derek, and I'm going to be sharing with you how to estimate construction projects quickly. I hear this all the time from contractors. How do I get my construction quotes, estimates, budgets out to clients faster? It's taking me weeks. I don't have time to do it. I'm just sitting there with a pen and pencil or my calculator, punching out stuff, trying to figure out, takeoffs from plans. How do I do this better? How do I put a system in place? In this video, I'm sharing with you how to do it lightning quick, so fast that it's going to make your competition cry. So in order to do quick estimates, there's a whole number of pieces that need to come together. You need a built out system that operates and it has everything in place. I mean, that's pretty straightforward and easy to understand, but I'm going to share with you the 4 pieces that you need to get right in order to have a really quick and accurate quoting system. If you need help with the details or how to actually put this together, reach out to me. There's a description below that will have the information. So the first thing that you need to get in place is cost codes and standard pricing. So your cost codes, simply putting a number to the different categories of costs in a construction project. So this could be everything from design and the pre-construction planning all the way to, your sub-trades like electrical, plumbing, siding, landscaping, all those different things, right? So you need cost codes for that so you can easily categorize them and so they can stay consistent throughout your estimating process. Also, that you can take what you estimate and put it into your accounting or bookkeeping software, marry the two so that you're not having to, take information from one place and move it to another, that it works across the board. And then standard pricing, right? So this is something like how much does a 2x4 cost? How much does board siding cost? All your standard pricing, maybe square footage pricing for things like drywall, flooring, what have you. You're going to have your different budget quoting prices. So you need to have that all figured out and in place. That's the backbone of your quoting. So and that's the first thing. The second thing you need to get in place is your software, right? Don't do it the old fashioned way. Nobody does pencil anymore. Even spreadsheets, are a bit outdated now. You can build everything out from an Excel spreadsheet. It does work. The only issue is getting that information, into other systems like your accounting or bookkeeping system, or getting it out to tradespeople or, creating a scope of work from that. It's a little difficult. But Excel does work. It's a great place to start if you need something that's very customizable and essentially free to set up. So Excel works. Accounting, bookkeeping, you can use things like QuickBooks or accounting software to build out estimates. They generally have some sort of estimating part of the software. So that is another way. The nice thing about that is that it is directly already in the accounting. So it's easy to, when you get the job, use that pricing for the job and move things back and forth. Then the next kind of software that you want to have in your stack is your project management software. So there's going to be things like CoConstruct or Buildertrend. There's a whole bunch out there. And depending, there's even specific ones for estimating. So figure out what works for you. These are often the best because they're going to directly tie in and you can move things from one place to the other. They're not as customizable, so there's a bit of setup, but they can be a great tool in your tool pouch as far as your tech stack to make sure you're estimating efficiently. The last one for software that I'm going to talk about is your plan takeoff software. So this is some sort of software that you can put your plans into. You're going to get a PDF with your plans and you can do your takeoffs, square footage, your different linear for, like countertops or amount of siding. So you can quickly click and scroll with your mouse and set things up, scale it so that you're not doing this by hand or you're not, punching in numbers through a calculator, that you're setting it up in some software. That's going to save you a ton of time. When you have this all working properly, it's going to shave off hours out of your estimating. Plus, anybody else can jump into the system and take over from your estimate. It's very transferable. So that's the second thing. You need to get your tech stack right and your software in place. The third one, moving on to number 3, you're still with me. Estimating is a little bit boring. I apologize if this video is a little bit tedious as well, but that is a part of estimating. It's number crunching. That's pretty much all there is to it. And just making sure that it's accurate. So number 3, rough versus drill down versus design. So there's different parts of your budgeting. We'll talk a little bit here about free estimating versus, paid estimating. If you are a sub-trade or you're doing something like very niched, then maybe free estimates make sense because it's very quick and basic and pretty easy to estimate if you have a very niche service that you're providing. If you're a general contractor or renovator, you're quoting on a lot of different things that are changing all the time, and you're going to probably spend hours quoting. You should be paid for that work. I know of myself when I started out providing free estimates, and sometimes, it was exciting because like, hey, I'm quoting on this new build house and, it's for $100,000 possible revenue. But when you do a lot of those and you don't see any return on it, it eats up a ton of your time. As a business owner, you need to make sure that you're getting paid for the time you're putting in. And we're kind of used to working for free to some degree as far as like, reaching out to clients, doing follow-ups, providing quotes, providing estimates, running around here, running around there. We don't always value our time from a monetary standpoint. And you want to be thinking like, once you kind of get beyond this level in your business and you have like an estimator or project manager or somebody else who's doing the quoting for you, are you going to want them doing free estimates? Because you have to pay them. So you're essentially paying for somebody else's estimate and they're not giving you any money for it. So keep that in mind when you are doing free estimates, that you are essentially, not even just working for free, you're paying them to do a service for them, because it's costing you overhead, it's costing you your time, it's costing money. You need to have your system, you have your regular business. So just remember that if you are providing free estimates, you are paying somebody else for that. Not gonna go on a big long spiel about, estimating and, free versus paid for. But if you are being paid for your estimating, and depending on how you do your free estimates, you're gonna have a rough budget. So this is gonna be something like we have your cost codes and your standard pricing, where you're just gonna take standard pricing, give them a budget, and like, this is generally what it's going to cost. Something quick and easy. You should be able to fire that off, depending on the size of the project, obviously, but within an hour, 2 hours, tops 3. And maybe after that, you should be able to get a fairly good read on the client if that is something that's feasible for them, if they want to move forward with the project. Once they reach that stage, then you definitely want to make sure you're paid for doing a drill down budget, which is getting selections, getting design, actually getting quotes from contractors, really nailing down all the bits and pieces in the pricing. That's going to take many more hours, but this is a good way to split the budgets up with doing a rough budget, quick and easy, simple, basic, standard pricing. This is what it should cost, could cost, and then actually making sure you're getting paid for a retainer to do a drill down and selections and all that kind of stuff. So does that make sense? Still with me here? That is number 3 to getting quicker construction, estimating done. Number 4. So this is the last little feather in the hat of actually getting a good construction estimating system going. And that's your assemblies and templates. So you want to have a template for your niche, for what you do, a template for a kitchen renovation, a template for a bathroom renovation, a template for a whole home renovation, a template for a new home build, low, mid, high, super custom. So have templates so that you're just plug and playing the numbers, moving things around a bit. You shouldn't have to be building from scratch, over and over again. So definitely have templates in place of the different types of projects that you possibly could be doing. And then assemblies. So you shouldn't be figuring out, if you're building a deck, how many 2x10s do I need? How many 2x4s do I need? How many joist hangers do I need? You should have an assembly that you can just go by square footages. Maybe if it's a small, you have your cost, your overhead, like basic, it's going to be 3,000 overhead, whether you do, a 6 by 6 foot deck or whether you do 36 by 36 foot deck. So have that in there, and then you can have your square footage cost as far as materials plus, waste or whatever. So that would be an assembly. Or, framing a wall. Well, you're going to need your glue, your nails, your studs, your sill plates, whatever else, your sheeting. So that could be another assembly. So by having these assemblies, you can get very accurate pricing without having to figure out all the little nuts and bolts that go into something. So follow those 4, get those running and operating in place, get that humming. You will be able to crank out estimates very quickly in a short period of time. You'll keep your clients super happy, and you will be able to keep more money in your pocket because you're not spending time doing too much quoting when you could be out in the field, getting more clients or taking care of your projects. So you want help with this, reach out to me. I can help you systematize this, get your tech stack down, get all these little nuts and bolts and pieces in place, get your cost codes in order. Check out the description below, free course, how to systematize your business, how to build a business that works without you, as well as information of how to connect with me. All right, here's the best. Make sure your numbers are on point and sharpen that pencil.